Hello everyone and welcome to the Full Court Press. We wanted to break up all this cold weather with some hot hoops action. I'm Dustin Dorsey. Our guy Trey Whitted is back in the house. Now, Trey, things are going to be a little different tonight with all our schools off this evening, but the show goes on. So, Trey, at this point of the year, we still have about a solid month left of the season. What have we seen so far and what has stood out to you?
Honestly, Dustin, I'm impressed with the overall style of play. Teams and coaches have adapted to this new pace and space style where they're opening up the court. It's given athletes an opportunity to showcase their individual abilities, make plays for themselves, make plays for others. It's also fun to watch.
Now, you know, as we see some of this video that pops up right here, who's coming out that looks like the early favorites for some of these conference championships?
I mean, you can't rule out New Hanover Wildcats for the boys. I mean, they're doing a great job of just playing with energy. Here we see Freddie Taylor, who is one of the leaders of that team, and we'll talk more about him here shortly.
Yes, we will. So now let's go ahead and focus in here a little bit. We are starting to see some of the stars emerge across the Cape Fear. So let's go ahead and give them some love with our Full Court Press watch list. Let's start with the ladies. Now, in no particular order, we've got Azaria Fields from New Hanover, Chloe Kernan from Cape Fear Academy, Lola Levitt from Hoggard, a pair of players from Laney with Jensen Edwards and Sanaya Rivers. Let's start with Fields, though, Trey.
That's right. Azaria Fields, Dustin, brings energy every game. She's really improved her pace of play, knowing when to slow down, when to speed up. She can attack the basket, and she can defend. I mean, she's averaging 4 steals a game, so she's getting it done on both ends of the floor.
Yes, she is another player getting it done all over the place. Chloe Kernan from Cape Fear, you've been seeing plenty of her, I'm sure, this season.
Absolutely. One thing about Chloe, we always talk about her scoring abilities, but she's averaging 7 steals per game. And back to her scoring, Dustin, she has already eclipsed 1,000 points as a sophomore. She's played varsity since she's been in the 8th grade, and she's led the team in scoring all 3 years.
That is some impressive stuff. Lola Levitt has been pretty impressive, obviously caught the college's attention. What do we see from her this season?
No doubt about it. I mean, Lola's just dedicated herself to getting better, dedicated herself to the game, and it's paid off. She's headed to Georgia Southern next year. She can stretch the floor, and she's a great player for the Vikings.
Yes, and we've got 2 great players for those Laney Bucks, those 12-1 Laney Bucks. Let's first talk about Jensen Edwards.
Jensen Edwards, another Division I commit, headed to High Point University next year. Now, Dustin, Jensen really inspires me, and I'm sure she inspires her teammates as well because of her ability to bounce back from adversity. She's dealt with a lot of injuries over her career, and she's been able to push those things aside and accomplish her goal of getting a scholarship.
That is fantastic work, and she's getting a lot of help from her freshman teammate, another freshman star this year, Sanaya Rivers. Talk about the other Buck.
Sanaya Rivers is a special player with a lot of God-given abilities. I mean, she's extremely athletic. As a freshman, she's already grabbing the rim. Her goal is to be dunking by the end of her high school career. And, of course, she's receiving D1 offers and a lot of attention. She's awesome to work with.
Now let's go ahead and talk about some of the guys. Let's start things off right here. Trey, first off, it's Freddie Taylor. You know him, you love him.
That's right. Freddie Taylor is the general and motor for this Hanover Ball Club. He's improved his outside shot. One thing I really like about Freddie, he's a competitor. He plays to win. He plays the right way. He's unselfish. He gets his teammates involved. He's a good leader.
Then it's over to Coastal Christian's Mike Parker.
Mike Parker had some time to spend with him this summer. And one thing that comes to mind with Mike Parker is his ability to be a vocal leader. He leads by example as well. He's in the gym before school. He's in the gym during lunch. He's in the gym after school. And he's really improved his game for the team. He reminds me of a Draymond Green. He can do a little bit of everything.
You know, I like that as a Warrior fan. Here's another guy that has a nice, strong presence under the rim. It's Sherrod Sidbury. You're going to see some great passes from him right here. What do you see this year?
No doubt about it. Just playing strong, playing with great pace, playing with an awesome attitude, and the Buccaneers are winning games.
And now another Wildcat. How about Romello Williams?
Romello is a scorer. He's a true scorer. He can get it done on the outside, on the inside. Key asset for the Wildcats.
He is helping them with an undefeated conference record right now. And then finally, we wrap things up. Dunk Master General Jake Brownlee from West Columbus.
Jake is on my Instagram feed. He's on my Facebook feed. He's bringing a lot of attention to the West Columbus area. That place is always packed, and you're there to see him.
We are going to continue to see him this season. It's been fun so far. Going to be interested to see if these stars could keep up the pace and see if anybody else can capture that spotlight over the last month or so left in the season. All right, coming up after the break, we transition into some college hoops. The weather didn't stop the UNCW women's team. We'll have their highlights right up next. Welcome back to the Full Court Press. Now, Trey, we only normally talk about high school hoops, but those lady Seahawks over there at UNCW are worth talking about this year. Tonight, UNCW welcomed in Northeastern into Traskell CAA basketball. Seahawks are still in search for that first conference win under Coach Karen Barefoot, while the Huskies are one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country, and they want to keep it that way. But early on, it's Jenny DeGraff looking to get her team at the top of the three charts herself.
That's right. Jenny just finding her spots. There we see her trailing the play, and here we see her just receiving the ball from a catch and shoot. She's got a quick release, and that was money. That
helped to the 12-7 early lead for UNCW after one, but that's when Northeastern started to take over. Look at the great defensive play by Jess Genko here, gets the steal and goes coast to coast.
That's right. She was doing a great job of stepping into the passing lane, showed great anticipation, and she finished with the easy two.
That helps Northeastern take a 22-20 halftime lead. Now in the third quarter, former East Bladen star, we saw a lot right here on the Full Court Press. Lacey Stuggs started to take over.
Yes, she did. Lacey Stuggs showing her versatility. We see her knocking down the three-pointer, and now we see her moving without the ball, finishing at the rim.
Great feed by Diamond Willis to get the layup there. Seahawks regained their lead going in the fourth quarter, but in the fourth, Northeastern showed why they are a solid three-point shooting team. Jess Genko got herself in an 800-point club for her career thanks to part of these outside shots.
No doubt about it. Shooting with range. Here she is uncontested, doing what shooters do, knock down open shots.
Seahawks defense held up for the most part, but they couldn't score enough at the end. Northeastern keeps UNCW winless in the conference with a 54-47 win. And after the game, the coaches talked about the recent stretch of cold weather and how it affected their teams coming in.
It does throw everything off. I mean, honestly, you don't practice the day before a game. I mean, their director ops went down to Duke and they played on the way in. So they did have a practice before the game. So, you miss on opportunities. You just try not to have any excuses and you just get ready and, snow, whatever, rain, sunshine, we're going to play. I mean, that's kind of my thing. So we give no excuses.
It's definitely been an interesting 24, 48 hours. I don't know how many hours it's been, but the kids, again, despite everything else that was going on around, they stayed focused and they fought to the end tonight.
Defensively, I think we did a really, really good job. I mean, I think they hit 1-3 in the first half. I mean, that's pretty good on a shooting team. So overall, defensively, we did very, very well, I think. I mean, it's just the little things that we got to fix, like the turnovers, which we can fix.
We got to put 40 minutes together. That's one thing I've been talking about. Can't put 32, can't put 33 in CAA play. You got to put 40 minutes together. And no putting your head down if we miss a shot. We can't give up a transition three. And that's kind of what happened the last minute of the game.
Yeah, it was a tough back and forth battle there for a while, but unfortunately they couldn't get it done. And the men's team played tonight as well, and unfortunately for the Seahawks, it's a sweep against both of them. They, too, dropped their game this evening as Towson dominates UNCW to grab the 89-71 win at home. UNCW moves to 1-2 on the season in CAA play. Now, coming up next, we wrap up our show and hear from Chief Meteorologist Scott Dean about the upcoming forecast. You want to keep it locked right here to the Full Court Press. Let's hope things start melting and getting a little warmer so we can get back to these sports happening. It's been a little boring for me, if I do say so myself. Now, speaking of which, all the games scheduled for this evening will be backed up to next Friday the 12th, and those games that were on the 12th, they'll be pushed back to the 25th. So no matchups canceled, they're just moved around a bit. And Trey, I want to ask you, we just saw the forecast here. Obviously, school's been canceled for the last 3 days for these kids. How do they focus in now? How do they work through that time off that shouldn't have really happened?
Right. Well, I think you made a great point during the break, Dustin. A lot of their work was done in the off season. Their parents paying the money and using up the gas money to get these kids to their summer league practices. They've worked out with their trainers. So they mentally, I think they're prepared. As far as staying physically prepared, a lot of that's just going to depend on them reaching out to their travel league coaches, their player developers and things of that nature, just to keep them sharp. But they also have access to film. That's one thing I used to do on my off days was watch a lot of film to stay engaged with the game, talking the game, and then when you get back on the floor, it's like you never left.
That's it. Well, hey, shout out to all the work that hopefully you guys are doing, because the show will continue next week. But our show tonight, that will do it. Trey, thanks as always for joining us tonight. Shout out to our sponsors. And now let's leave you with some of the best highlights from our basketball season so far. We'll be right back here, same time, same place next week. See ya.